This is episode 68 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and I'm back from Scotland.
Yeah, he is back. We have cast aside the emergency replacement from last week. And we are bringing you the game this evening that we actually pre-recorded to cover Sam's holiday that screwed up. This is a game that neither of us are playing. It is, in fact, fellow Tin member Steve Burnett's Sith Taker League match from a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, he didn't tell me who his opponent was, and I was so busy recording and doing the overlay that I wasn't paying attention. So anyone who is watching on YouTube, it's Steve and not Steve.
Okay.
And yeah, let's jump straight into it.
Yeah, you know, I've actually completely forgotten how this game goes. I feel like I remember getting annoyed at what Lando's about to do.
So this is the third time I'll have watched this because I watched it live. I remember a couple of bits, but not a lot. Oh, before we start though, Sam, you will be glad to know that I kept up my tradition of calling chips wrong last week. I managed to call Breach, Dread, and Grudge in the same sentence. So, yeah.
That's amazing. You know what? It's funny. I think I saw the Nantic style posted by Minty, and I actually can't remember what it's referring to.
Oh, so no. So this is the one that you see. This is why you should listen to the podcast. It was you talking about the 3 salute being the only maneuver on the dial, and but back to this week. Do you want to take Rebels or Scum?
You know what? Let's take Scum.
Okay, shoot.
So we have Not Steve's List, and featuring the Mandalorian in the Razor Crest. Well, actually, it's not in the Razor Crest. It's like the ST-70 whatever, but it's the Razor Crest because he's got Duke, Expert Handling, Fenrau Crew, the Child Crew, Greedo Gunner, and the Razor Crest title, and mysterious contraband cybernetics underneath the Razor Crest title.
Yeah, if you don't see contraband, then it's under the title.
Yeah, almost certainly, and that's a pretty juicy build Mr. Mando's got going there. Then we've got Cad Bane in the Rogue class starship with Fearless, Ion Cannon, Jamming Beam, False Transponder Codes, the Xanadu Blood title, Zuckuss, and Proton Bombs. And that's, I like that. Like, that's a quite nice control set for Cad Bane.
Yeah, Zuckuss working really well with Cad Bane's ability there, because if you can re-roll a defensive dice from an evade to something that forces a hit through, you use his ability to pass the stress you gain straight over.
Yes, heck yes. Then we've got 2 Hawk gunships. The first one is Palob with Notorious, Lando, Calrissian, Overtuned Modulators, and Moldy Crow. And so there's a really, I think, deceptively tanky Moldy Crow, because generally the Hawk gunship is not that durable. But with combination of Lando Calrissian, Moldy Crow, and Overtuned Modulators, you're going to get a lot of defensive rerolls and a lot of ways to modify those.
I also like the fact that Moldy Crow helps combat the downside of Overtuned Modulators, because yes, the calculates will disappear if you haven't spent them, but the focus tokens won't.
Exactly. And then finally, Gamut Key in the Hawk with Protectorate Gleb and Deadman Switch. So a much squishier Hawk gunship. Like, if Gambit gets looked at, he's probably going to get killed.
But he's the support piece, isn't he? So, giving out coordinates, keeping the tokens. So facing that, Steve has brought his Rebels. And he's brought Lando in the Falcon. With Notorious, Perceptive, Biston, and Contraband. Quite like that. With Lando's ability to give himself 2 actions if he wants. You can get a lock double focus. Notorious helps with the rerolls if you don't have the lock. But to go alongside that, he's also got Benthic 2 Tubes in the U-Wing, with Perceptive, Contraband, the Pivot Wing, and Jin. So allowing either of those 2 pilots to change one of those focuses to an evade if they like, or both.
Nice.
Got Derek Clivian in the RZ-1 with Elusive and Cluster Missiles. And if I remember rightly from memory, his ability is when you acquire or spend a lock, you may remove a non-lock red token.
Something like that. Yeah, I can. So I can look it up, and if it's different, I'll mention it.
And then Colby in the T-65 with cluster missiles, contraband, and the S-foils. So yeah, lots of three dice native attacks there. Derek's got cluster missiles to add to that. Should punch quite well.
It's after you acquire or spend a lock, you can remove 1 red token from yourself.
Oh, it's just red. Oh, so locks as well.
Red token.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, locks,
nice.
stress,
ion,
strain, deplete.
Yeah. Right. So let's get.
Technically, crit markers are red.
Yeah. Okay. You could remove your crit marker if you like. So. Turn 0, and not Steve is first player. They are playing Salvage Mission. And to save some time, we are... So if you're Steve, as he's looking at it, he has got an arrow pointing to his bottom left corner. 3 of them go diagonally across the board. 1 in the bottom middle of Steve's board edge, and 1 on his left-hand board edge, about halfway up, just slightly further to not Steve's side. And then obstacles. 3 of them are clustered, 2 gas clouds and a debris, on the right-hand side where there is a lack of objectives. 2 basically covering the left-hand side of Steve's board edge, close to range 2, and then 1 on the top, as Steve's looking at it, top left, so the right hand side of not Steve's board edge. So there's a big chunk of space in the middle, reasonable chunk of space to the left, and quite a lot of space sort of centrally on not Steve's board edge.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one.
Like, for me, the way it looks is, if Steve slow rolls, he can at least pick up 2 crates turn 2.
Yeah.
Jump into the middle of the board, past probably 4 of the 6 obstacles, and start meleeing.
Yeah.
And like, realistically, you probably try and pick up boxes with the U-wing and the Falcon.
Yeah, I think they're the ones you want to, especially considering Colby's whole ability is that he can flippity flop his wings so he can boost.
Yeah.
So admittedly, he could pick up a box and he's an X-wing. It wouldn't destroy him.
No, but setup. And so I'll just do the rebels quickly. So we have got Derek on the far right, pointing upwards. Steve's basically spread them across the board. So you've got Derek on the right, Colby slightly to the right of centre, facing a gap between the first 2 gas clouds, Ben Thick to the left of centre, facing a gap between a gas cloud and a debris, and Lando on the far left, about a large ship base in, to scoot past the far left debris and, shoot up that board edge.
So I've only just noticed this. Is it weird to you that he's basically arranged his ships in health order, right to left, smallest to biggest?
Okay, he has done that. It's like model size as well. It's biggest model. I wonder if that's I highly doubt he's done that on purpose. But I wouldn't be surprised, knowing Steve, that if there is a bit of sort of psych of, big models here, and they just... No, because if you think about it, he would have had to have done 2 sheaves first, then the A-Wing, then the X-Wing, then the Falcon.
Yeah, but I can see that they're all spread out pretty evenly. It's like spawn points in a game. Here, your even number of spawn points. You just place which one wherever. I don't know. It's funny.
Maybe.
I just noticed that. I was like, hang on a minute.
There you go. Third time of watching, and that's the first time I noticed it, and you had to point it out.
Yeah. Meanwhile, not Steve has not done that thing, although he sort of also has, just in the opposite order. Because we've got as Steve looks at it, in the top left corner, we have Gamut Key, basically 45 degrees in, pointing towards the centre of the board. It's about a ship base in on both sides from the corner. Right next to him, we've got Palob, facing directly towards the Millennium Falcon. Turret pointed to the left. And then just to the left of center, we've got Cad Bane, basically facing off against Benthic. And then I'd say, okay, we can say far right, 45 degrees. The Mandalorian is pointing directly towards the center objective, and he has a straight shot. And he's essentially in between Derek and Colby Sperado. So again, both people have arranged their ships, probably not intentionally, in like size order.
Yeah.
Is a
like,
bit of interesting.
Like, looking at that, my assumption is not Steve expects the engagement to happen somewhere near the center objective.
Yeah, I mean that's where all the objectives are, essentially on that. Like Amando's pointing to like go straight in there. The Hawks can go slow enough, and Cad Bane is set to go straight in.
Yeah. Okay, so they roll off for turn 1, and not Steve is first player. They overlap at every initiative, actually, so let's get to it.
Not 2.
Okay, not 2, fair enough.
Yeah, every one of not Steve's ships has overlap, but 2. Benthic is always going first.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading not Steve's side and just looking at the initiatives there. Yeah. That's quite useful, actually. Knowing your medium base is always going first. Is quite useful. And apparently I paused this way too soon.
What is the video running?
Oh yeah, it's running. I paused it at 8 times speed. I paused it when they all had dial set and they'd rolled for turn 1.
Are you sure?
I mean, it's running on my timer, but
there we go. Bam! I was gonna say like the hands are still.
That's me skipping. No, hang on. Right, I'm just gonna skip using the 10 minutes. No, it apparently took them 6 minutes from rolling for turn 1 to actually moving. Okay,
well, the first move is Benthic looks like he's done a 1 straight.
Yeah.
And I'm going to assume it's going to double focus, and he might take an evade, and he might not. The marks for elimination, I believe, have gone on to Benthic and the A-Wing.
Yes.
That's the child's condition that the opponent gets. So that's quite nice.
That is quite good, because that will trigger the Derek's ability, picking up that log. So, yeah. So it looks like Palob's just done a 2 straight.
Yeah, 2 straight.
And takes focus. Gamut 1 straight's in behind.
And takes focus. Then Derek, I believe, does a 4 straight boost focus.
5 straight boost focus.
5 straight boost focus. Oh yeah, I see. Then Cad Bane does a 4 straight and cloaks. Colby Sperado does a 4 straight and looks like a focus or just no action.
I thought a focus, but
no, that's a boost, actually, isn't it? That's a boost.
Yeah, it must be if Derek's up there. And then it looks like Mando just did a 1 straight and barrel rolls to the right.
Yeah. Also, Benthic passed one of his focus tokens over to Lando, who then does a 1 straight and focuses. So Lando's sitting on 3 focus tokens. I wonder if he'll use them.
I'm going to guess not. There is 1 shot turn 1.
We have Colby and Cad are trading shots, except Cad isn't really a trade because he is currently cloaked.
And
that does mean he rolls like 1,000,000 dice.
Yeah, Colby does nothing in that, unsurprisingly. And we go to turn 2. Now,
so this is where things are interesting to me, because Steve has basically set up that he's either picking up 1 box or, like, I guess no boxes, potentially, right? Because he's leaving the 1 in his home area behind completely.
Yeah, he's decided he doesn't want that 1. All right, fair enough. I think for me, I think you can actually do it with either. I think a 1 straight from either the U-Wing or from Lando in fact, even possibly a 2 straight from the U-wing would leave you range 1 of that box.
Yeah.
And I think one of them picks it up.
Yeah, I feel like the U-wing doesn't, because the U-wing can pass the focus to Lando.
Yeah.
And then Lando can move and pick up a token.
But then by the same extent...
And coordinate himself.
I was going to say, but yeah, by the same extent, Lando could just coordinate himself a double focus and then pick it up with his actual action. But interestingly, the Palob's like committed to going down that side towards Lando, because he can't turn in behind that rock anymore. Gamut could, but I think he has to be careful not to go too fast, because yes, he's got a 3 dice shot out the front with the title, but I still wouldn't want to one-on-one a Hawk with a Falcon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, you would want to one-on-one the Hawk with the Falcon. You wouldn't want to take the Hawk doesn't want that.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. As not Steve, you wouldn't want to.
Especially also the U-wing is like right there. Yeah. Colby and Derek look like they can maybe not, I guess, jump on the Mando at this point. Like maybe jumping isn't exactly the right word. Like they can definitely just start fighting the Mandalorian.
Yeah. But we get to turn 2, and they roll off, and Steve is first player this turn.
Okay, so that makes things interesting.
So we go... system phase.
Cad Bane decloaks of 2 straightforwards.
Yes, that's very interesting. A nice jump into the middle there. So 2 troopers are 1 straight again. And double focuses, but takes 1 as an evade.
Yeah, and does he pass 1 over? I don't think he does.
Nope.
Derek
then 5 straights. And boosts into a lock, I believe.
Yeah, onto the Mandalorian, trying to just start shooting with those clusters. Because, if he spends that lock, he gets rid of the...
I say actually boost into a lock, technically lock into a boost.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he'd be able to ditch that stress straight away.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, he would be able to.
So, yeah. Then we go to Gamut Key, who has done, I think, a 2-bank to go sweep past Palob, facing down Notzi's board edge towards Derek and the ST-70. And
I assume he's going to coordinate.
Yeah, coordinates a focus action to Palob.
Nice.
Palob then jumps 3 straight.
Okay, he's taking the fight to the teeth. I know he's got good defensive. I don't like this.
No, I think it's a little aggressive even for me. But I mean, he acquires a lock onto Lando, which does let him. He's got 2 focuses already. Got the rerolls if he needs it, and now has a lock as well. So depends. I think if he can do 1 and sweep past, but it's going to depend on what Lando's done. So that'll be interesting to see. Colby does a 2-bank in. And then so it takes a target lock, I believe, and target locks Cad, which I personally think is a mistake.
Because Cad hasn't moved. I think Steve might have forgotten that the decloak wasn't actually Cad's move.
Yeah, I would have locked the ST-70 because worst case it stops, and if it doesn't stop, then it's coming towards you.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Cad has just done a 1-bank, cleared his stress.
Clear his stress, and I assume barrel rolls to the left and links it to a focus. Yes. Or focus barrel, whichever way around it is.
And we forgot to mention that Colby does not keep that lock because it triggers the false transponder codes from Cad.
Oh, yes, that's true.
So, okay, at least you've burnt through that.
Yes, but still, it still makes it a mistake.
Yeah.
Yes, you've burned the false transponders, but you could have a lock on the Mando here.
Yeah. And then Han jumps 3 straight.
Lando jumps 3 straight.
Lando. Damn, and I was saying to myself, all don't call him Han like I did when we first recorded this. Lando jumps 3 straight. Double focuses.
Yeah,
to a focus and evade.
I'm not sure I like that.
And then doesn't appear to do another action, which is... Oh no, hang on. Is that a lock from him onto...
I must assume that must be a lock, right? Because Benthic hasn't taken one.
Now, I think if that was me, I think I would have picked up... He's still range 1 of the crate. I think. I'm pretty sure he's range 1 of the crate. I think I would have still picked that up. Focus evade, pick up the crate, start plinking shots.
I can see... Yes, but actually in this scenario, I actually don't mind what Steve's done here because he has been presented an opportunity to get 2 good shots into Paylob.
Yeah,
and one is a very good shot, and the other is a good shot. For me, I think I'd take this because I think not Steve has messed up with Paylob, and he's now in trouble.
The only issue I have with that is if you don't kill Paylob this turn, then Not Steve's in a very good position to sweep a lot of his ships behind Steve's list, pick up 2 or 3 crates, and then just start plinking the points up though that way.
Yes, but the way I see it, if can Paylob actually get behind Lando like next turn? I don't think he can. I think he bumps at worst, and Lando can just 2 straight do the exact same thing he just did, except now Paylob is behind him. Isn't even losing a token to Paylob. And can just finish the job. Like to me, this is too good an opportunity to get a lot of damage through because you're gonna be rolling 4 dice against 2. Rerolls only help so much.
Yeah. Looks like the Mando does a 1 bank.
Yes, and evade. I assume. Evade. Okay, yeah, getting the Duke online.
So we go to the engagement, and it is Lando first.
Spends a... Okay, so gets 2 hits and 2 focuses. Spends a focus for 4 hits.
Yeah. Before we went to that, Paylob nicked the evade from Lando.
Yep.
So that tanky ship's just got even tankier.
Yeah, so this is why I didn't like the focus evade. I want the focus because then you don't just give Paylob an evade.
Yeah. But
because there's no way Paylob's taking a focus.
Yeah. But you plink 2 through, so that is the 2 shields gone on him.
Yeah.
Mando goes into Colby, range 2 by the looks of it, gets hit crit.
Gets hit crit and then
Greedos
for crit.
Steve rolls, gets 1 evade.
And juked.
And gets juked. So those are the shields gone on Colby.
Where are they at the minute?
So I believe this is sorry, I probably should slow it down for this. I think where have we got the 5s?
I'll be honest, the stream is paused, by the way.
Oh, that's because I have it paused at the moment.
Okay.
So that must have been Colby into Mando. Because we're doing
not a whole lot has happened.
It's plink. Not a lot has happened. So we then go to Cad Bane, who has a nice range 1 shot into 2 tubes. Rolls 3 hits. Benthic rolls 2 focuses, so spends a focus. And takes 1.
Takes 1. Happy days.
And why is so this is Derek into Derek into the Razor Crest. I believe he's firing a cluster missile.
Yeah, looks like he is firing a cluster missile. Gets 2 hits and a focus. Spend that lock, my friend.
Spends the lock. Reacquires the lock because the child. Mando gets 1 evade. So takes 1 shield. Interestingly, did not remove the stress off Derek there.
Because he forgot his ability, didn't he?
Yeah, he's reacquired the lock. He remembered to reacquire the lock, but just not lose the red token.
He's like... He forgot twice because you're supposed to get it when you spend it and when you acquire it.
Yeah. So we then move down to Palob, who has that range 1 shot into the Falcon. So he rolls hit blank blank focus, spends his evade with Lando to re-roll the 2 blanks into hit crit, spends a focus for 3 hits and a crit. Nothing happening for the Falcon, so 4 shields down.
Yeah. And again, I am A-okay with this trade. Also, by the way, notorious trigger forgotten because, I mean, it didn't matter in the end because Lando didn't roll an evade. But had the notorious been remembered on both sides, or is notorious? Oh, notorious has been remembered. Steve's
triggered notorious. There's a strain on Palob. I don't.
Yeah. But Palob didn't put a strain onto Lando, otherwise Lando would not be rolling a dice.
Yes. And then 2 tubes has a range 2 shot into Palob. And takes one more damage off.
Yeah. So Palob is tokens down.
Yeah, and I will so quickly just jump the speed back down to 4 times now that we're in the engagement. Might be a bit easier to see. Yeah. So what Palob did do though was notorious 2 tubes.
Yes. I mean, I guess yes, it's fine. I think that's the less useful one.
I mean, he could have done them both. You get 2 charges.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I think. That's the like that. There's no reason not to, but I think that's the one you definitely like. That's the one you could have forgotten, and it probably wouldn't have mattered.
So here's a question: 2 tubes of stress, so he's got to move.
Yeah.
Do you drop a proton bomb with Cad to catch Colby if she turns in behind you, bearing in mind she's got no shields now, and possibly catch 2 tubes if he decides to go that way towards the Razor Crest?
Yes, I think you do. I think you do drop a proton bomb and then you just move forward and grab the objective.
See, now that was going to be my second part to that question. Do you shoot forwards? Because he's got a nice, any straight manoeuvre, can get him in range going through the objectives. Or do you do a hard 2 to the right and try and catch the Falcon?
I think you go straight, because in my mind, I guess actually no, maybe Palob stops here. Like I'm trying to think, because I guess Palob could overtuned and stop. Because for me, if Cad goes to the right, he's getting in the way of Palob. Yes, he's also getting in the way of the Benthic and potentially like Lando, but Palob's kind of in trouble here. Palob needs to move somewhere.
Yeah, see, my thoughts were you stop Palob to create the range 0 bump with Lando, and then shoot with Cad as well.
I mean, what I want to see out of Lando here is a 3 straight.
Yeah. Like
1 bank out of Benthic.
A 2 or 3 straight to basically jump behind and pick up the next crate. But yeah, a 1 bank to the left with...
Yeah, 1 bank to the left from Benthic.
Yeah.
Just because like that Palob is too juicy a target for me.
Yeah,
like,
that
is an easy 5 points.
Yeah, with 2 health left, definitely. I'd consider 3 banking Colby to the left as well.
Yeah.
And then just chasing with Derek, I suppose. There's no bombs.
Honestly, Derek just 2 hards.
Picks up the crate, maybe?
Picks up the crate, focuses. Honestly, he has loads of choices what he can do. He's chilling. He's happy. He's doing all right. He can just keep chasing Mando pretty much all day.
Yeah. Just plink it through 1 at a time. You'll get there. So we go to round 3. Not Steve is first player. And
contraband is revealed on the Mando.
Surprise, surprise. That system phase Palob also triggers his overtuned modulators.
Yep.
Nabs them, calculates.
And are we getting a bomb?
Yes, we are.
We are getting a bomb.
Okay. Ooh.
That's the wrong way. Okay, so for anyone who's listening, Benthic just did a 1 bank.
2 bank.
2 bank but went to the right instead of the left. So Steve has decided that the Mando is the one to focus today.
Which is interesting, I think, because if Palob's not stopped and is turning in, you're getting a 3-dice gun in the rear.
Shot, yeah.
But I mean,
no, I'm going to tell. I don't like this move. I think 1 bank to the left or 2 bank to the left. Like now, I see where you ended up.
I think it's the wrong move. I think you jump on Palob, even if everyone bumped him 2 range 0 shots, both with 3 dice. Has a semi chance of getting 2 through. Especially if you've done a fast bank with Colby as well, especially with her ability as well, because you fast bank, you focus boost, and then reflip it for the 3 dice.
Like you have, honestly, between Lando and Colby, you have pretty good odds of just initiative killing Palob, and that's huge in this list.
Yeah. But that does ditch his stress and his strain, so he will get an action.
Yes, but how much worth will this action get? Because Palob has a turret pointing at him.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Takes a focus though, and passes 1 to Colby. Okay.
Just trying to work out if the Ewing has a barrel roll. I don't think it does it?
If the Ewing has a barrel roll, then Chris has been playing Ewings wrong. I've never seen him barrel roll.
I didn't think it did, but
yeah. I mean, it has a stop and a rotate. That's basically a barrel roll.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not to anyone who's listening, but it's pretty good.
So Palob does a 4 straight.
See, the fact that doesn't clear tells me Palob had no chance of clearing. So I really hope Lando's gone faster than a 1 straight.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's just trying to jump behind there, basically, and get away.
I like the gamble. Like it was a pretty decent gamble. Just to get behind the Falcon. Like you said last turn, if you get behind the Falcon, you can grab the crate. You're relatively safe. Yes, Lando has a rear gun, but yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if it had cleared, there's no reason why you couldn't have boosted behind the obstacle.
Exactly.
3 dice. You've got the re-rolls from the calculates plus the calculates themselves. There's a reasonable chance you get 2 or 3 evades from that. So
yeah.
But that is a bump. Does he take the red focus? Is the question.
I wouldn't.
He does. My guess is he's just going to do a 2 or 3 straight the next turn, although there's a chance that clips the... It's close.
So the reason I wouldn't is because you have a token
that
you can just... Like, because Benthic is right there, he already has a focus token. Steve just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah. So Gamut 1 straight towards the Razor Crest and coordinates a focus.
So I think one thing we did miss is I think Gammuted the Lando, the Mandalorian, so he could keep his evade.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So yeah, he's still got his evade, so he's now focus evaded before he's activated. 2 hard from Derek.
Clears the stress that should have been cleared last turn, Steve.
Takes a focus.
Takes a focus. I mean, I like that. Just shooty.
And a 1 hard from Cad Bane there, which makes me think if a 1 hard landed there, a 2 hard might have chucked him onto the debris.
Yeah, that'd be close. I think it would be a very close one.
But does a 1 hard, takes a focus and boosts to the right.
I think so. I think he's expecting Lando to come in.
Yeah, I think it's also. I don't think he was range 1, but yeah, maybe just being on the safe side.
Yeah.
But also, if Lando's done, well, quite frankly, if Lando's done any maneuver that clears Palob, then he'll be in Cad's arc. Like a 1 straight would leave him in Cad's arc. So, and obviously that doesn't clear. So. Yeah. So that is the falls for the Scum. So it's Colby next, who took a focus, one of the focuses from Benthic.
So 1 bank towards the Mando.
1 bank towards the Mando. I'm assuming here takes a lock onto Gamut.
That I actually quite like that. Because chances are the Mando's bumping Colby.
Yeah. So you've got the double mods on the ship that you're going to be able to mod on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because interestingly, the Mando revealed the contraband, but didn't use it.
No.
Or no, hasn't used it yet. Sorry, we haven't got to his turn yet.
Yeah, so he could actually stop.
Yeah. But I'm okay with this because, like I said, I think he didn't stop. Turns out, but is that a bump? I can't see.
We'll find out in a second when he takes an. I think that is a bump. Looking at it, it is a bump. He's obviously focused already, so he can't do a red focus action. And then Lando does a 2 hard, which doesn't clear, so stays exactly where he is.
I don't like that.
I have to admit, I think if I was going to turn in, I would have turned in with a 3. I think your call of do a 2 straight or faster is the right call.
Yeah, I would have called 3 straight just to hedge against the odds of Palob stopping.
Yeah.
Don't take a red focus.
He does take a red focus.
Palob is right there. Don't take a red focus.
Yeah, he does take a red focus. Is Palob 0 to 2 or?
I'm pretty sure it's 0 to 3.
0 to 3. He takes focus evade. And Palob actually steals Benthic's.
I mean, that also makes sense. I guess actually, maybe it's not too bad doing the red focus because Palob already has something he can steal, and because you're getting 2, at least Lando will have something.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is that taking the evade just gives Palob an evade if he wanted it.
Yeah. But taking it off 2 tubes does mean that 2 tubes is now unmodded into Mando.
Yes, and there is at least 2 shots coming into Benthic if they want it.
Yeah. But the bomb will go off. Hopefully.
I think did they forget about it?
We'll find out in a sec. I believe it only catches. Yeah, it looks like. I think it'll only catch 2 tubes.
0 to 2 for Balob's ability.
Yeah. 0 to 2. So Mando is shooting first and is going into 2 tubes. And rolls.
They even have the stupid 3D hollow model for the bomb as well.
Yeah. Rolls with his ability 3 hits.
Doesn't Greedo. Interesting.
Doesn't Greedo. They remember the bomb. So basically Palob has lost his shields and taken a damage. 2 damage. Sorry, Benthic. What did I... calling him Palob now. Yeah, Benthic has lost his shields and then taken 2 damage. Why has he taken 2? Oh, because he took one from Cad last turn, didn't he?
Yeah,
that's what it was. So then we'll go to Lando Shot, who range 0.
Range 0.
Rolls crit.
Crit. All right, spicy. Evade. This is why I really wish Steve had gone into Palob because just that roll out of hand could have quite literally gained him 5 points.
Yeah.
Tokens be damned.
Cad has no shot, so it goes to Colby, who goes range 2. Yeah, range 2 into Gamut.
I like that.
Spends both mods. No. Yeah, where's this focus? It removed his focus. So I must not. Yeah, must not have changed it. But goes for 3 hits. Gamut rolls 2 evades. So takes a shield.
Takes a single shield, and then we go over to Gamut shot.
Who has range 3 into Derek.
And we'll take it.
Rolls 1 hit. And Derek gets 1 evade. Palob is going to...
I think range 2 turret into Benthic seems good to him.
It does range 2 turret. Sorry, I am having issues with the stream. It is a bit jumpy. Rolls focus blank. Spends a calculate to reroll with Lando. Rolls it into a focus. And then I'm guessing when it catches back up with itself, spends a focus for 2 hits. Oh, sorry, spends the other two calculates. So that ditches all the calculates and means he keeps his focuses with Moldy Crow.
Luckily for Steve, he rolls 2 evades.
Steve rolls 2 evades. Nice. So then we go to Derek's shot, who has a range 1 into the back of Mando. The checking arc again. Rolls blank eyeball.
This is it's range 2 because he's
firing range 2, is
cluster missile.
Okay. Spends the lock and the focus to end up with 2 hits. Mando rolls 1 evade. Spends the evade. Spends the evade? No, doesn't have to spend the evade. Rolls evade blank. Changes the blank to a focus with his pilot ability because he's in 2 tubes and Colby's front arc. And then spends the force from the child to make 2 evades.
2 evades.
Because he should be able to gamut this turn, I believe.
No, they gammeted...
I thought it was 2 turns ago he gammeted.
They gammeted last turn. That's why he still has the evade focus.
Interesting that he didn't just spend... I mean, I suppose save it just to make sure on 2 tubes, but...
Yeah. I think when you have the resources, like when he has the force and he has all the health he's got, like he may as well spend the force because he only gets it back by taking damage.
Yeah,
so
that's
I'd spend
true.
the force first before tokens.
Yeah, it's not quite the same conservation you need with, say, Jedi, is it?
Yeah,
that's fair. And then I think it is just 2 tubes' shot.
The glorious 2 tubes.
Unmodded.
Hero of the day, unmodded.
Range something.
Range something. We're professional here, honest.
We're getting there. It is range 2.
Like we said.
It is 2 hits, which he will evade because he's got focus evade. He rolls focus blank, spends them both for 2 evades. And I've worked out, interesting tidbit for listeners and viewers, why the stream is being dodgy. It's not being dodgy. This is the recording that we recorded the podcast on last time, so every time we think it's not moving, it's because we paused because we were talking about it.
Oh.
And I must have deleted the original one because we'd already recorded it.
Okay,
so
that's fun, actually.
Yeah, that's why it's pausing at really random times.
That makes so much sense. You keep talking about things that are happening. I'm like, I'm not seeing this, Sean. I'll just keep silent and let you go.
Yeah, it must have paused. And then I kept thinking it was jumping ahead. It's not. It's because it's paused because we're talking.
Wow, we're really professional here, guys. Honest, like, please.
So, we are into round 4. Not Steve is first player. There are 32.5 minutes left on the clock. And the score is 0-0.
Blimey.
I mean, it's...
You know what, I've just clocked that, actually. Yeah, like, nothing's happened in the first 4 turns of the game.
Like, to be fair, it's very close to swinging. There's a lot of ships that aren't far off dying.
That's true.
But let's see.
Well, okay, wait. Benthic is stopping.
Benthic is stopping. Flipped contraband. Takes 2 focuses and passes the 1 off to Han. Lando. I think I would have given 1 to Colby. Because my assumption is Colby's 4King.
Yeah, I would have given 1 to Colby.
Oh.
And Han... Oh god, I said it.
Yes, it's not just me. I should mention that at the end of the shooting after 2 tubes, he did acquire a lock onto Mando because he's got the child
he's marked for elimination.
So he has got that mod there. But Han, like, if Han uses... Sorry, Han, stop calling it... Damn it, you've got me doing it repeatedly now. If Lando uses one of his actions... Assuming he's going to give himself 2, which is reasonable where the ships are. One of them's a focus.
Straight, you monster.
He doesn't need 3 focuses. He doesn't need 2 focuses and an evade.
No, he really doesn't.
Yeah, I think I would have passed 1 over because then like if Colby, all right, Colby's got contraband, but Schmopp's contraband 4Ks can then take a lock and is double modded.
Yeah.
I mean, actually,
I like that.
If you want to be really spicy, you could flip your wings 4K. Oh, and I see focus into a boost. Yeah, would give you that, but wouldn't be double modded. But anyway, decides not to. Passes it over to Lando.
Hey, we got it.
I swear one of these days I'll make it through an episode.
Nah, just give up.
No, right? No, I'm fine. I'm just going to bring like
just a spreadsheet in front of you.
No, I'm just going to fly Republic and bring like 4 Squad 7 veterans in the arcs. I can't get it wrong if they're all named the same.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
All right,
Spam text is coming back.
Sam, you and me just play like a game of as many 8 Trade Federation drones against 8 Trade Federation drones. We'll give ourselves 4 points each to start with.
Oh, that would honestly be a bizarre game.
Could you imagine people? Trade Fed does this. Trade Fed does this. Trade Fed does this. Trade Fed does this. But anyway,
whoever gets first player just wins.
Yeah, probably. But while we wait for our whatever we were talking about on the last turn to talk about, catch back up, probably where the focus was going. So we move to Gamut, who does a 1 straight, clears his stress,
and probably coordinates Mr. Mando.
My assumption is coordinates. He does. He coordinates an evade. Paylob does a 3 straight past the Falcon.
Yep. Clears the stress and boosts, I reckon. You want to get that debris between you and the Falcon.
See,
like I said, Paylob is not looking good.
No, see, I was going to say pick up the crate. Because if he thinks that Lando's doing any sort of turn-in, he's going to get an obstructed shot. And even if Lando goes straight, it's going to put distance.
I guess.
So he does pick up that crate. Then Derek does a 2 bank to the left, bumps into the back of Mando.
That's a 2 straight, bumps into the back of Mando.
2 straight, bumps into the back of Mando. Takes the red focus.
Why not? Mando's chances are Mando will be shootable.
Yeah. You then spend your lock, remove the stress.
Exactly.
If you remember. CAD does what looks like a 1 bank to the right.
Like 1 bank to the right. Clear the stress. And I think you just focus her.
Yeah, I think so. But takes a lock onto Colby.
Okay.
I kind of get that, because if he thinks as I thought that Colby's doing a 4K, I think it's damn close as to whether Gamut blocks that now.
Yeah, I think Gambit does block that, actually.
It's very, very close. But here we go. And it is, in fact, a 3 Talon. Which
Your point is still correct, though. There should be a focus on Colby. He was doing a red maneuver.
Yeah.
God darn it.
Right. My assumption is he's flipped contraband. I can't see the token.
He doesn't have contraband on Colby, does he? Oh, he does have.
Yeah, he does have contraband.
Oh, it's because it's off the bottom of the screen.
But if he had a focus, he could now lock CAD.
Yeah.
And pump a double modded shot in. Or, quite frankly, take a lock onto Mando. Depends whether you think Mando's stopping or not. But he did pop contraband, and he does take the lock onto CAD.
He also just forgets to put a stress token.
So it's this round.
You know what? You don't need to pop contraband if you just don't get stress tokens.
No. See, I remember this round. He is not the only one. You might also notice that there is not a stress token on the stopping U-wing.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot that the U-wing stopped this round.
Yeah. Mando does a stop, pops contraband, takes a target lock onto the U-wing, does not give himself a stress. So that's 3 out of 3 on the red maneuvers.
Yep, that's 3 out of 3 red maneuvers. Contraband, it just reduces the difficulty of your maneuvers. I can't believe we've got it wrong this entire time.
It gets even more amusing. trying to work out if it's now. Lando does a 2 straight, clears his stress, rotates his turret.
No, target lock paylob.
And then double focuses, so he now has 3 focuses. Yeah, like I know what he's thinking. Probably range 1 into CAD, but I think you're right. I think you try and kill.
CAD has 7 health.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it, Steve.
Paylob cannot steal a token, and if you notice, it's kind of hard to see under the fuselage of the X-wing, but Not Steve has very kindly given Colby a stress token because he's done a red maneuver, and they've still forgotten the U-wing and the Razor Crest. So yeah, there is that. So here goes Mando into the U-wing. 3 hits. Nothing for the U-wing, so takes the 3 hits.
Wait, hold on a second. Didn't the U-wing take like 1 damage from Gamut's shot last round?
I don't... Gamut? No, he wasn't facing Gamut.
Oh, Gamut, sorry. Paylob.
I thought he dodged it.
I could have sworn Paylob rolled 2 hits and Benfic rolled 1 evade. I mean, it doesn't matter. Benfic's about to die no matter what. And it wouldn't have changed anything.
Sure. I can't remember that far back, and we'll have to look over that one.
I mean, to be fair, I might have lost it in the pause and the stop and the moving. So I don't know.
I didn't remember anything like that while they were doing it, and I was obviously watching it to do the overlay.
Then that's I might have missed it in the pausing and the starting and the pausing and the starting.
Mando did Greedo that one to change 1 to a crit, and that crit was blinded pilot.
Oh,
so yeah, that target lock is now useless.
That is very true.
Han going unfortunately range 2 into Cad Bane.
Yeah, the shot from Lando is going to be pretty juicy this time, hopefully.
Rolls 1 hit and 2 blanks.
Target lock, schmarget lock.
What target lock? He rotated and he rotated,
yeah.
Double focused for those 3 focus tokens that he requires.
You know what? At least Bistan is still there, right?
Bistan is still there.
Has he used Bistan this entire game?
Nope.
Actually,
no, he hasn't.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to know.
Cad rolls eyeball blank. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. What's this cat? Yeah, and now he checks, and he can't Bistan anyone.
I Bistan Colby.
So we need to move down to the 4s, and it's Cad. Cad range 2s into Colby. Rolls
fires the ion cannon.
Fires the ion cannon. Rolls 1 crit, 2 eyes.
Target locks.
Rerolls from the lock for hit crit. 1 evade, so it's just the damage.
Yep. So Colby's on 3, but he's relatively safe at this point. Colby returns fire. 3 hits out of hand.
Nice, but unfortunately 2 evades from the rogue class, so just the shield.
Yeah, ouch.
Then we have I think it's range 2 from Gamut into the A-wing. Just wait and check, yeah, 2, and rolls nothing. Paylob has a range 3 obstructed shot into 2 tubes. From the
gets
turret.
Blank focus, spends a focus for 1 hit. 2 tubes, rolls a single evade. And inexplicably, 2 tubes has a shot.
I know, right?
Wait. Derek. Derek has a shot.
Derek. Oh no,
Derek.
Right, so they missed Derek, and they will go back to him. So he range 2s into the Mando. Rolls
2
hit
hits out of hand.
2 hits. 1 evade. Mando spends the evade for dodging. And they're just about to pack away. And here they go. He goes to remove the focus token, realises he hasn't shot. So they go.
Please, sir, can I have a shot?
Spends. Rolls the range arrow, gets 1 hit, 1 eyeball.
Mando takes a shield. I think that's just to make everything like add up. Like, because effectively, if he had spent the evade here, then he would have taken 1 damage from Benthic. So it doesn't matter either way.
So they're going into the next turn.
1 point to not Steve.
Yes. There is 18 minutes left, and we have our first point on the board. Way. Now, I think, personally, Steve... I know what Steve does with Derek here, and I think he makes a mistake. And you'll see why. But we go to the next turn. Turn 5. And Steve is first player. And yes, Cad drops his Proton. Not entirely sure why. Maybe he thinks Colby's heading that way, but... Like, Two Tubes has to move away from that. Han can't really move towards it. Lando can't move towards it.
This feels like it's like trying to edge case catching Colby.
Yeah. But it goes down. Now I'm expecting like a 1 straight from Two Tubes, which happens. If it's me, I think I repair... Oh, do I repair the blinded pilot?
I double focus and take one of them as an evade.
Yeah. Because the light...
Or I pass the focus to either Derek or Colby. I don't care which one, just pass it away to someone else. There is no way Benthic is surviving to shoot. At least with the evade, you can make not Steve take 2 shots.
I mean, you say he doesn't survive, but if Mando bumps into him, then it's a range 0-1 modded, and if you take focus evade, there's a chance you survive.
Like, yes. Technically, this is all true. Like, but I just... Because I think, like, Cad can get a shot into Benthic. Even Gamut can get a shot into Benthic. Like, I don't think Benthic survives because he's on 1 health. And I would rather take the evade just to try and make not Steve use 2 shots, but pass a focus to someone else so that one of my ships can do something more useful.
Yeah. And he... I always pause these at the wrong moment. He takes 1 focus.
And passes 1 to Derek.
And passes 1 to Derek. No, changes his mind, keeps them both for himself.
1 should be an evade. Please make 1 an evade.
Now, this is where I think Steve sort of screws himself over. He does 2 straight with Derek, which places him in front of Mando. He's cleared the stress. It's not that manoeuvre, although that's not the manoeuvre I would have picked. I think I would have just, like, 1-harded, which would basically keep him where he is. And then Mando moves away from him. Because he's got a lock. He could have had the focus from Two Tubes. However, it's his action choice that I think's... Now he's moved there, I think you've got to barrel roll out the way.
Yeah, because right now, if Mando goes, he's going to bump into Derek and have a range 1 shot into Benthic.
Exactly.
And, like, Benthic definitely doesn't survive that.
Like, focus barrel roll if you need to, you know. And I think for me, I barrel roll to the left. Probably doesn't give you the best chance of a shot, but it gives you the best chance of getting out the way.
Yeah.
However, he picks up a crate.
I don't like that.
No. The only manoeuvre that is not going to result in a range 1 shot from Mando into Two Tubes is like a 3 bank to the right.
Yeah.
And no way has a stressed Mando dialed that in.
Maybe he's 5 straighted. Maybe he wants to eat his own proton bomb.
That's true. A 5 straight would jump it, but I don't see that. But Paylob goes and just 1 banks round. And nabs himself a focus to go back up to 2.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's ticking up points. He's surviving. That's all Paylob needs to do.
Gamut, 1 straight, and focuses into a rotate. So the turret is now facing out the right towards Steve's ships.
Yep. Hey, we're going to get some Gamut shooting.
Colby does a 1 straight, clears the stress. Yep. Dodges the stress. I think if it's me, you just take a focus here, which he does.
Yeah.
5k from Cad.
That's very close to just whacking into the back of Gamut.
I know. I was just thinking
nicely called.
That's some eye there. I think if that was me, I would have ended up dialing in a 2 straight with Gamut just to give the extra distance because I don't think my eye's that good. But no, nicely jumps over the back. We then get a 1 straight from Lando.
I mean, that's pretty safe. Reach for that box, Lando. You're not doing anything else.
He doesn't. I know he doesn't. He boosts, or technically doesn't boost because he's got to do it the other way around. Focuses into a boost. And my argument there is why. Because where he's gone, why didn't he just do like a 2 or 3 bank?
Yeah.
Nets you the exact same thing.
He didn't need to clear any stress, did he?
No, but if you do the blue maneuver, like I'm pretty sure the 2 banks on the Falcon are blue anyway.
Yeah,
like nets you almost the same position, maybe even just slightly closer in, and you haven't wasted an action, so you could focus lock.
Yeah.
I think would have been my call there, but I suppose it's the straight does give him the option of if someone's come towards him that he wasn't expecting.
I think he wasn't expecting the 5k from Cad, because if Cad does most other maneuvers, like he's
got a better shot. Yeah,
he's got a much better shot, right?
Yeah. Mando does, I think, a 1 straight, which bumps into the back of Derek.
Red focus, my friend.
I'm pretty sure he does take the red focus. He's not moved the stress off yet. We'll find out in a sec. Wait, there we go. Yeah, takes the red focus. And we go to the shooting. 12 minutes left. So maybe one more round after this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's 0-1 at the moment. It's all to play for.
Yeah, and if Derek survives with this box, it's going to be a 1-1.
Yeah. So, let's see if they remember. The bomb goes off, catches no one. So, Lando has got range 3 shots into everyone except Palop. So, finally, we can Biston.
Yeah, we can finally Biston.
And if it's me...
Who do I shoot here? You know what? I think Cad.
See, I disagree.
I think Cad at least one of the shots.
Oh, yeah. No,
you know you've got 2.
I agree, right? I agree with that. I think you shoot Mando first to try and strip the focus.
Yep, that is exactly.
And then I think
you ignore Gamma for the moment.
Yeah, and then I think you Biston into Cad, because Cad has no defensive mods, so has the better chance of getting damage through.
Yeah, because the sad thing is for Steve this round is like he only really has Lando's shot, because if Benthic survives to shoot this round, then Steve dice godded his way through this round.
Yeah,
because Colby and Derek are currently facing the wrong way.
Yeah,
and I think this is what's going to screw Steve over mostly.
So he is going, I'm not sure, into one of them because it's the same amount of dice. Rolls hit, focus blank, strength 1, focus for 2. 2 evades from, I think this was into Mando. And now he's going into Cad. Rolls 3.
Yeah, it looks like 3 hits to me.
1 evade, so that is 2 damage through on Cad.
Okie dokie. So if Benthic survives to shoot, we've got some interesting stuff.
But unfortunately, before that happens, Mando has a range 1 shot into 2 tubes. Rolls 3 hits and a focus out of hand. Bye-bye 2 tubes.
Doesn't even need to spend the focus.
No, that's true, actually. But you might as well, because he's not getting shot by anyone. 2 tubes gets the 2 evades.
Yeah, he rolls the best he possibly could, and it just isn't enough. 2 tubes is down 5 points to not Steve, and no more shots from Steve's ships.
Cad is going into Colby. Range 1, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like a range 1 iron cannon.
No, that's the... I think that's the dice left over from Mando's shot. They're just checking. It does do the iron cannon, though. Gets 2 hits.
2 hits.
2 hits. 2 evades from Colby. 2 evades? Why have they changed one? Was 1 a focus and then they've remembered dead to rights. So can't change that. Oh no! I know what it was.
It can't have been.
He's Zuckust.
Ah, yeah, he's Zuckust.
He's
yeah.
Zuckust.
I see. You know what? I think we forgot this at the time. He's forgotten Dead to Rights the entire game. I think I remember talking about this point.
Oh, when we recorded it, yeah. So
when we recorded it before, I think he's forgotten Dead to Rights the entire game.
Yeah. So what Colby's done is Colby's rolled 2 evades. Kat's taken a stress to Zuckus to make a reroll one. She's rerolled it into a blank, and then Kat's triggered his ability to pass over the stress that he got to Colby.
Yeah.
That being on the receiving end of that is not fun.
It's spicy.
Especially when you've got a Mando and a CAD behind you and suddenly you're stressed.
Yeah.
But yeah. Gamut, I think goes into Colby. Gets 2 hits, and Colby takes them. And that is a dead Colby.
Colby Sperado is gone. Okay, Steve, I'm not... my belief is not there with you at the minute.
So... no, Colby's back. Why is Colby back? What do we forget? They've forgotten something. Because she had the focus token and he rolled 1 focus.
Oh, right, yeah.
because he...
God damn it, Steve.
So Colby is in fact alive on 1.
God damn it, Steve.
Oh, watching these games is fun.
1-7. Steve's on the board. Okay, here we go. Sorry, even with Colby alive, I don't think Steve is catching up. So he literally has to have everything go right this round.
Yeah, ignore the players overlay. The one that's on the stream overlay is right because they haven't taken Colby back off, so it's currently 1-7.
Yeah.
The problem is...
So this is going to be the last turn, right?
Yeah, there's 5.5 minutes. I mean, it took them like almost 6 minutes to get through the last engagement phase, so... This is the last round. You're 6 points behind, but realistically, Colby's going to die this turn. So
what Steve needs is to kill Palob and Cad Bane.
Yeah.
And Derek has to live.
Yeah,
and keep his box.
But Derek living isn't out of the question. He's full health. Pretty sure he's still got an elusive.
Yeah, but the most important bit here is keep his box. And when Greedo is around, that's a little harder than normal.
So, if it's me, I think I 4 straight Derek. Because that then gives him the option to focus boost in which direction.
No, can't boost.
He's got the crate, hasn't he? So in which case, I think you just chuck a 5 straight.
Yeah.
Colby, I think you have to 4 straight.
Yeah.
Except you're not going to have mods.
No. Colby, flip wings to closed.
3 straight, focus boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then on flip or whatever he does.
Yeah. And then Lando has to do like a 2 bank to the...
Lando has to somehow get Cad in arc and as many mods as he can.
Yeah, I think a bank to the right. I think a 3 probably takes you off the board, actually. So probably a 2 bank. And hope that you've got him in arc.
Yeah, do a 2 bank because that's blue and that gets you your double action.
Gets you your double actions. And then if you need to boost, depending on where Cad's gone. But yeah, I think... And that's, you've got to kill Palob, and I don't think you can rely on either Derek or Colby to do it by themselves and disengage with the other one.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I say that, the one other thing you could consider doing is doing like a 5 straight with Derek, or maybe even a 3 bank to the left with Derek, actually.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was trying to work out if that clips the debris or not.
What about a 2 bank to the left with Colby and then a focus boost? Because you go behind Cad and Mando.
Yeah,
and then
that would likely keep Colby alive.
The most you deal with is the 2 dice turret from Gamut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all hypothetical.
Yeah, but I think I like that as keeping Colby alive. I think the problem Steve has is that he needs Palob to die, and I don't think you can trust Derek to do it on his own.
So if Palob doesn't die, and Colby doesn't die, then So I'm trying to work this out in my head. Not Steve goes to 8. And
we assume Steve keeps Derek's box, so Steve goes to 2.
We'll go to 7.
So then even killing Cad Bane doesn't do it.
So you've got to kill Paylob then.
Yeah.
Which is going to be difficult with at least 2 focus tokens, which means he's getting rerolls. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, probably disengaging Colby is not the right call. You just accept that she's going to die and hope it's not the Mando for the initiative kill.
I actually think what it has to be is you need to you kill Paylob, kill Cad Bane, Colby dies. That means you go to 11 and not Steve goes to 11 and you draw.
Yeah.
Or play another turn or however it is ended up ruling.
So they roll off, and Steve is first player. Derek goes first, does do the 5 straight, which goes a little far, I think. Which is what I was concerned about, which is why I initially, forgetting you can't boost, thought about the 4 straight and then giving you the options. I think looking at that, the 3 bank probably would have cleared and probably would have given you better options for the shot, but it probably means you're taking better shots, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
it's a close one, but I think you just focus here.
Yeah, you just focus. I mean, it's the only option you have. Actually, no, the other option would have been target lock because you want to fire that cluster missile, right?
Yeah. Doesn't appear to take an action.
Fine. I think he's got a lock on Paylob.
It's got yeah. So he has. You're right.
Yeah. However, Paylob has done a 2 straight, and now Derek does not have a shot.
Gamut, and we didn't take this into account in any of our what happens, does a 1 bank and picks up a crate.
Which means now Steve literally cannot win.
Yeah. Unless he kills 3 ships.
So he cannot win.
I mean, the angle, you might be able to line up a Biston shot from the Falcon onto Cad and Gamma and some outrageous... It's not mathematically impossible. It is
it's not mathematically impossible, but let's be real, it's not going to happen.
It's realistically not possible, but mathematically it's not out of it yet. Until this happens. Cad Bane does a 1 hard to the right, and then I believe focuses into a boost, which will block pretty much any manoeuvre that the Falcon's likely to have dialed in.
Our plans didn't take into account the enemy taking turns.
I know it did. I knew that. I remembered this bit from the last one, but I was talking about.
But I mean, at the same time, for the sake of the hypothetical, like when you're this far behind, you just have to be like, what is the way I win?
Yeah.
And go for that.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
What your opponent might do gets in the way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Exactly. So yeah,
and this way, Mando still has a shot into Cad Bane.
So Colby did a 4 straight. And yeah, we've already talked about it. In hindsight, because you stay stressed, the 3 straight focus boost would have been the better call. And I'll actually, next time I see Steve, I'll talk to him about that. Because it's not something you think about until you're sat here commentating on the games. Yeah. You just think about, gotta go fast.
Yeah.
And then Mando's done a 1 straight. Somehow ended up with focus and evade. I'm guessing gammeted from the last turn that we missed that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see the gamut token triggers.
So we go to the engagement phase, and it is Lando. Now, still not mathematically impossible. If you can somehow create 7 damage from 3 dice going into a Mando with a focus and an evade, you got this.
No, that is mathematically impossible.
Fuel leak, direct.
Yeah, but you need
3 crits. Fuel leak.
You only have 3 crits, so fuel leak, direct hit,
hull breach, fuel leak, direct, damage from the fuel leak. That would be a direct. Then damage from the direct. No, still no. No, kind of. Although, if he Biston, you have to shoot someone else with Biston, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't double tap into.
If Biston let you double tap into the same thing, it would be in every rebel list ever.
All right, so Steve's just playing for pride now. Can he score more than a point? He rolls into, I think... What's that laugh?
I just see 3 blanks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
I think this is rolling into CAD at range 0 and gets 3 blanks. Rolls into Mando, gets 2 hits, and with his million tokens, Mando's fine. Mando goes range 1 into Colby. She dead.
Hit, crit. Kelby's got blank evade. Kelby gone.
Duke for
the lols.
I'm pretty sure she rolled 2 evades as well. But yeah, Duke. It doesn't matter. That is Colby dead. Paylob takes a pot shot out the side into Derek. Does nothing.
Derek has no shot, and that's it.
And that is game. It's a 13-2 in the end. And like what were we saying? At like 15 minutes left, there was 1 point on the board.
Yeah. Like that really did spiral out of Steve's control at the end there. But I still think it all comes down to his decision to turn on the Mando.
Yes. Yeah,
rather than turning on Paylob.
Yeah, I think
that wasn't the end, but that sort of like set the stage for the end to come.
No, I agree. Like, I think if he'd taken out Paylob there, that's 3 points that not Steve wouldn't be picking up from the crates. It would also have netted Steve the 5 points for that.
Yeah.
But it also meant because Benthic would have turned that way. The next turn, Benthic can stop and rotate back to face.
Exactly, yeah.
But the Falcons got into a much better position by then, so that it's either come in or... I mean, to be fair, he could have cut, because if you kill Paylob that turn... Oh no, that's the turn that Lando bumped, isn't it? But if you killed him there, then you hard turn in the next turn. Yeah. And you're right there, and suddenly it's the U-Wing and Lando, and then you've probably got Colby and Derek still following up from behind.
Yeah. And this is versus the Mando.
Yeah, and
I think the Mando goes down to that.
Yeah, you'd burn through it. So yeah, hopefully, Steve, you will have listened to this and picked up our opinions.
Anything.
Apologies if we sound harsh. It's very easy for us to sit here week after week going, should have done this, should have done that, should have done this. Normally that's why we do it to ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to translate very well into the games, so, you know, we'll be here forever.
Yeah. But no, it was interesting to watch. Like, watching it live, it really was so close. I thought this could go either way. And it only takes a couple of dice the other way for it to suddenly be Cad dead and Paylob gone. But by God, Mando with Focus Evade is a tanky ship.
Yeah, and 2 force, just like 2 random force.
Getting that blank to a focus mod really does make it such a tanky little ship. See why it's 7 points.
Yeah. Should run it more often.
Well, I'll look at it when I flitter my way back to Scum. But
I haven't got really anything to add to that one, to be honest.
No. I think we've covered it all as we were going through. So we'll be back next week with a more regular program. Don't know who will be flying.
More regular than our regular programming.
But it will definitely be one of us two, if not us both. And yeah, guess we'll just say see you guys next week.
Yeah, ta-ta.
Bye.